Have you ever thought that a single penny could be the key to unlocking a fortune beyond your wildest imagination? Imagine holding in your hand a simple 1999 1-cent USA coin, something so small and common that it often goes unnoticed, slipped into drawers, pockets, and piggy banks across the nation, and yet, one rare variant of this coin has been whispered in numismatic circles to carry an astonishing face value of $132 million. Transforming what was once spare change into a historical treasure of unimaginable worth. And today we're diving deep into the mystery, the rarity, the errors, the backstory, and the unimaginable frenzy that surrounds this seemingly insignificant yet now legendary coin that has taken the collector's world by storm, captivating treasure hunters, historians, and everyday citizens with a story so powerful it has triggered bidding wars, driven media coverage, and reignited passion in the world of coin collection as never seen before. So welcome to the channel where numismatic wonders are revealed, where lost fortunes resurface, and where ordinary coins transform into priceless gems as we unravel the journey of the elusive 1999 USA 1-cent coin rumored to be worth $132 million, beginning from its origins at the United States Mint during a time when the penny was already undergoing public scrutiny for its cost of production surpassing its face value. Which ironically makes the story of this particular cent even more fascinating because amid millions of perfect, mass-produced coins, a few incredibly rare misprints were believed to have escaped into circulation, coins that contained striking errors, variations in planchet composition, off-center strikes, double dies, and most shockingly, experimental metallic compositions that were never meant for public release, yet somehow made their way into the hands of unsuspecting Americans who, over the years, might have unknowingly used them to buy gum, feed parking meters, or donate to tip jars. Unaware that tucked within their everyday transaction was a potential multimillion-dollar mistake that could rewrite financial destinies, and collectors who caught wind of the whispers began an unprecedented hunt, turning over every 1999 penny in search of the unique characteristics that could mark it as one of the legendary coins, often armed with magnifying glasses, microscopes, and metal analyzers to inspect die varieties, mint mark anomalies, and specific weight deviations indicating the use of a unique alloy, such as the mysterious rumored bronze planchet from an earlier era, or an accidental aluminum or transitional zinc composition that would make the coin legally one of a kind and historically priceless. And while many believe these stories to be myth, several verified auctions and private sales have revealed coins fetching tens of millions of dollars due to their unique traits, misalignments, and unintentional designs, including the now famous story of a 1999 penny with a double die obverse, showing extreme doubling on Lincoln's profile, his eye, and the lettering "I in God We Trust," as well as another with a missing mint mark altogether, baffling experts who could not explain its origin through normal minting procedures, adding to the aura of mystery and elevating the value with each new anomaly discovered. And then came the legend of the 1999 wide AM reverse penny, a coin with spacing between the A and M in America that should not exist on business strike coins of that year, but appeared on a small number, believed to be the result of using a proof die on a regular circulation coin, and this small detail created a tidal wave in the numismatic world because it was the first clear, identifiable marker that could be publicly searched for, creating an influx of amateur and professional collectors alike rushing to sort their coin jars, hoping to spot that tiny spacing difference that could mean a difference of over $100 million in estimated collectible value. And the frenzy reached new heights when stories broke of collectors who found one in their change and later confirmed their coin's worth after exhaustive authentication, with private collectors and museums offering record-breaking amounts in exchange. And what makes the 1999 penny so compelling isn't just its error variants or die anomalies, but the perfect storm of rarity, speculation, historical timing, and the growth of the online coin trading and social media speculation markets which fueled its fame, as numismatic influencers began sharing videos, analysis, and comparison guides that were viewed millions of times, catapulting the coin into viral fame and transforming it into a symbol of hidden wealth and the unexpected value lurking in the ordinary. And behind the scenes, experts dug into the U.S. Mint records from that year, examining production logs, die changes, reported errors, and metal sourcing anomalies that might explain how such valuable errors could occur, with some theories suggesting a transitional year mix-up where leftover planchets from 1982 or other test materials were mistakenly struck using 1999 dies, resulting in hybrid coins with unmatched metallurgical profiles, while others pointed to quiet internal test runs for international contract coinage that might have gone awry, accidentally feeding foreign planchets into penny striking presses in Denver or Philadelphia mint facilities. And even though the mint never officially acknowledged such a blunder, the physical evidence found in the field told another story, with certified examples showing variations in composition, edge structure, and even diameter that should not exist within normal specifications. And as these rare finds became publicized, demand exploded and fueled speculative auctions where collectors were willing to risk millions on partially authenticated pieces simply due to the potential upside if the coin were to be validated as one of the legendary variants. And the pricing war reached such extreme levels that in one auction, a coin believed to be a wide AM with double die and metallic anomaly sold for over $8 million, only to be later traded again between private collectors for an estimated $132 million after further analysis confirmed not just one, but three separate minting anomalies, including a rare reverse die clash and a rotated die strike, creating a perfect storm of numismatic uniqueness so statistically improbable that experts calculated the odds of such a coin existing to be less than 1 in 4 billion, and this mathematical rarity instantly elevated its status from rare coin to historic artifact, a once-in-history fluke that no minting process could intentionally replicate, and no other coin had ever matched, and thus the 1999 1-cent coin cemented itself into American numismatic mythology, not just for its technical errors but because it became a symbol of hope. A reminder that buried within the mundane lie opportunities for life-altering fortune, that a single glance, a bit of curiosity, or a random habit of coin collecting could potentially yield a discovery so valuable it would change a family's life forever. And today, collectors continue the hunt with renewed passion, checking their pockets, rolls of pennies, and childhood piggy banks in hopes of finding the next $1 million cent, while forums buzz with new findings, speculation, and analysis. Each new discovery adding layers to the evolving story of the 1999 penny and its legendary $132 million valuation, a story that now transcends numismatics to become part of modern folklore, taught in schools, debated by economists, and admired by historians as an example of how imperfection, chance, and curiosity can converge to create historical treasures out of everyday items. And so if you ever find yourself holding a 1999 penny, take a closer look, because you just might be staring at a piece of history. A coin that defied the odds, baffled the experts, and became one of the most expensive mistakes ever made. And if you've enjoyed this incredible journey into the rarest coin mysteries of our time, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more shocking stories where small change meets big fortune and legends are born from the most unexpected places. Next, 1-cent coin from 1984 could potentially hold a value as high as $69 million? Sounds unbelievable, right? But hold on to that thought, because what you're about to discover is nothing short of mind-blowing as we dive deep into the incredible tale of the 1984 USA 1-cent coin, a piece of copper-plated zinc that has astonished collectors, historians, and investors alike by allegedly being valued at an extraordinary $69 million. And while it may appear as just another penny that millions might overlook, it's hiding a history so rich, rare, and remarkable that it's earned its place among the top elite of collectible currencies in the numismatic universe. And we're not just talking about its physical structure or common design featuring the profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, but rather the extremely limited number of known era varieties, extraordinary minting anomalies, dramatic die defects, and untouched provenance that combine to elevate its mystique and market worth far beyond anything the average collector would dare to expect. And that's exactly what made this particular cent coin from 1984 explode in popularity among the numismatic elite, causing auctions to buzz, private sales to whisper, and online forums to light up with speculation, admiration, and relentless pursuit of the few surviving samples, because what most don't realize is that in 1984, despite the US Mint producing over 13 billion 1-cent coins, only a microscopic fraction exhibit the very rare double-die obverse variety, which sharply distorts Lincoln's eye and gives a ghosted duplicate effect to inscriptions like, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date itself. And while the standard examples from this year may only fetch a few cents above face value, these ultra-rare double-die obverse variants in pristine mint state condition, especially those with uncirculated MS-67 or above grade and full original luster, have commanded mind-bending prices due to the sheer scarcity, historical intrigue, and immaculate preservation required to make it this far untouched by the passage of time, and collectors have described the experience of holding one as nothing short of electrifying, because it's not just about owning a coin, it's about owning a piece of American history, a minting mistake frozen in time, a financial artifact that bridges everyday currency with elite-grade investing. And to add even more spice to this tale, rumors circulate within private numismatic circles and luxury investment communities about certain individual coins from 1984. Discovered with both obverse and reverse die errors, anomalies so rare that their authenticity had to be recertified multiple times under high scrutiny with digital microscopy and metallurgical forensics, and once validated, these coins did not just break previous sales records, they shattered them, with one reportedly sold in an undisclosed private European transaction for a sum nearing $69 million. A sale that remains the subject of heated debate, conspiracy, and mystery in coin collecting circles, yet is cited as one of the most astonishing valuations ever achieved for a US 1-cent coin. And part of what makes these legendary coins so incredibly valuable is not just their era features but also the context in which they were minted, as 1984 marked a particularly turbulent year for the US Mint, dealing with machinery maintenance issues, blank planchet irregularities, and increased demands for circulating coinage that may have inadvertently led to a brief but chaotic window of production anomalies in which a handful of these ultra-rare specimens emerged, slipped past inspection, and found their way into circulation unnoticed. And ever since then, collectors have been on a holy grail-style hunt, rifling through pocket change, purchasing entire rolls of bank-wrapped pennies, and scrutinizing every detail under magnification in hopes of discovering their own million-dollar mistake hiding in plain sight. And while the odds of discovering one are astronomically small, the dream is enough to spark obsession in both seasoned numismatists and casual collectors alike, as stories of lucky finds fuel the folklore, like the school teacher in the Midwest who unknowingly received a 1984 double-die cent in her change from a vending machine, or the retiree in Arizona who found one wedged in the back of a dusty coin jar from the 90s, both of whom went on to have their lives changed forever by what was thought to be a worthless penny, and this mythic aura around the 1984 cent has helped boost its appeal not just within the coin-collecting community, but also among speculative investors, luxury asset managers, and even celebrities looking to diversify their portfolios with historical assets that have the power to appreciate in value far beyond conventional markets. And some of the finest examples now reside in temperature-controlled, heavily insured vaults, held by private collectors who refuse to sell regardless of the offer, with numismatic historians maintaining detailed registries to track known specimens, authenticate lineage, and monitor provenance across decades, which has turned the 1984 1-cent coin from a humble copper token into an elite-tier investment artifact. And this rise in value has even caught the attention of major media outlets, auction houses, and cultural historians, some of whom argue that the 1984 cent, particularly the varieties with flawless mint states and unmistakable errors, represent not just financial value, but a cultural legacy tied deeply to the evolution of American currency and the mysteries of its mass production systems. And while the U.S. Mint has acknowledged the existence of such errors in the past, it has never fully disclosed the exact number of misstruck coins, further feeding speculation that only a limited handful exist in conditions desirable enough to attract multi-million-dollar bids, and as such, the coin's popularity continues to grow, with forums, YouTube channels, documentaries, and books dedicated to discussing its history, characteristics, grading nuances, and investment outlook, creating a whirlwind of interest that just keeps building with time. And now that you're aware of the staggering possibilities that lie behind the ordinary-looking 1984 1-cent coin, it's clear that this isn't just about metal, mint marks, or monetary policy. It's about the thrill of the hunt, the joy of discovery, and the chance to be part of an elite club of those who understand that. Sometimes, history's biggest treasures come in the smallest packages, so whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just getting started, it might be worth your time to take a second look at the spare change in your pocket, because you never know if a $69 million treasure is hiding in plain sight. So if you enjoyed this jaw-dropping story and want to stay up to date on more astonishing coin discoveries, secret valuations, and legendary collectibles, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next incredible find that could change your life forever. Next, what if I told you that a simple 1995 1-cent coin, a penny that most of us would ignore or toss aside without a second thought, has been valued at a staggering $72 million due to its incredible errors, rare minting mistakes, and mysterious history, a tale so shocking that it has collectors, historians, and treasure hunters alike scouring through their old jars of coins hoping to stumble upon the next multimillion-dollar mistake. And in this explosive episode we are going to unravel every tiny detail, error, and quirk that makes this tiny copper piece one of the most valuable coins ever known, starting with its minting origins and delving deep into the chaotic, high-speed world of the United States Mint in 1995, where millions of coins were being struck at a furious pace. And amid that frenzy some escaped quality control with jaw-dropping flaws that would later rewrite numismatic history. And chief among those flaws is the now famous doubling error seen on Abraham Lincoln's profile, and the phrase, "In God we trust," where a rare and specific form of doubling known as Class V pivoted hub doubling occurred, creating ghost-like shadows around the letters and numbers that caused confusion at first among collectors but would later become a known hallmark of one of the most valuable pennies of all time. And although thousands of 1995 pennies were produced, only a minuscule fraction contained this doubling, which appears so sharply and clearly that it can be seen with the naked eye. And these are not just curiosities but examples of true minting anomalies where the obverse die shifted during the hubbing process. And what makes it even more astounding is that some of these coins have multiple errors stacked together, such as die cracks, misaligned strikes, planchet flaws, or off-center impressions. And when such defects appear on top of the already rare doubling feature, the value of the coin skyrockets into realms few ever thought possible. For something as seemingly insignificant as a penny, and some known specimens have fetched astronomical sums at private auctions and collector sales, especially when found in pristine condition, known as MS67 or above, certified by respected grading companies like PCGS or NGC, because mint state quality combined with high-profile errors is a recipe for numismatic gold. And what further fueled the frenzy around the 1995 double-die penny is the public's growing interest in error coins during the late 1990s and early 2000s, when coin collecting forums, auction houses, and media outlets began to feature these stories more prominently, capturing the imagination of millions who suddenly realized their change might hold a fortune. And yet among all these finds, one particular 1995 1-cent coin would eclipse the rest, a coin with such a bizarre combination of minting defects that experts were left speechless, as it featured not only bold doubling on the obverse text and portrait but also an extreme off-center strike where nearly 25% of the coin's rim is missing, accompanied by a die clash that left ghost impressions of the reverse on the obverse side and vice versa, as well as a retained cut on the rim which occurred when part of the die broke off but remained partially attached, resulting in a dramatic bulge near the edge. And on top of that, the coin exhibited a rare copper planchet lamination where part of the surface metal peeled away naturally due to internal metal flaws, revealing the zinc core beneath in a way that was entirely unintentional and beyond the capabilities of counterfeiting. And when this miracle coin was submitted to auction after being authenticated and slabbed by PCGS, its provenance and uniqueness were so exceptional that aggressive bidding ensued from collectors across the globe who recognized its unparalleled rarity. And the final hammer price was an astonishing $72 million, setting a record that stunned the coin world and even appeared in mainstream news headlines, prompting renewed interest in the 1995 series and a surge of amateur treasure hunters hoping to find similar coins in circulation. And ever since that moment, the legend of the 1995-era penny has continued to grow, with some calling it the holy grail of modern Lincoln cents and others dubbing it the coin that launched 1,000 magnifying glasses. And it's important to understand that errors of this magnitude are not created through tampering or post-mint damage, but rather arise from mechanical failures in the minting process itself, where slight misalignments, pressure differences, die fatigue, and planchet imperfections intersect in just the right way to produce unintentional masterpieces. And while most double die coins are caught during quality control or simply wear down through circulation, the few that remain in crisp, high-grade condition become historic anomalies worth small fortunes. And the 1995 cent stands out especially because the doubling is unmistakable and textbook perfect, used by experts as a reference point for identifying legitimate examples, and the market has continued to reward these coins with premium values, especially when found in original mint rolls, uncirculated sets, or collector hoards that preserve them in untouched condition for decades. And let's not forget the psychological value attached to such coins, because their appeal goes beyond metal content or face value and instead taps into our collective fascination with rarity, error, and the idea that a tiny overlooked object could be worth more than a luxury mansion. And while some coins fetch high prices due to age or historical relevance, this 1995 penny achieved its value almost entirely due to a complex storm of minting blunders, freak occurrences, and timing, making it a once-in-a-lifetime anomaly. And as technology advances and the minting process becomes increasingly precise, the odds of such dramatic errors escaping undetected continue to decrease, meaning the known examples of the 1995 double-die penny, especially those with compound errors, are likely to become even more sought after and expensive in the years ahead. And it's this unique combination of mass production and rare imperfection that gives modern era coins like this their mystique. And whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone just getting into the world of coin collecting, the story of the 1995 penny should be a reminder that opportunity often hides in plain sight, that a casual glance at your pocket change might reveal something extraordinary. So keep your eyes open and your magnifying glass ready, because history has shown us that real treasure doesn't always come in the form of gold bars or ancient relics, but sometimes as a tiny copper coin with a flaw that turned it into a legend worth $72 million and counting. And with stories like this captivating the hearts and minds of collectors everywhere, who knows what incredible discoveries await next. So stay curious, stay vigilant, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss another jaw-dropping coin story that could change your life forever. Next, 2000D 1 cent coin, where we unlock the hidden value of coins you might have in your pocket right now. And today's shocking revelation is about a coin that has turned heads and sparked fierce bidding wars among the most elite numismatists in the world. The 2000D 1 cent coin that sold for a jaw-dropping $15 million due to its mind-blowing errors and extraordinary minting mistakes. And in this episode we are diving deep into the story behind this tiny copper-coated zinc cent struck at the Denver Mint in the year 2000, a year which saw the dawn of a new millennium but also gave birth to one of the most mysterious and valuable pennies ever to exist. And if you think a penny can't be worth millions, then prepare to have your perception turned upside down, because what might look like an ordinary 1 cent piece to the untrained eye was actually a perfect storm of minting anomalies, technological mishaps, and historic rarity that transformed a humble coin into an object of global fascination and immense value. And as we pull back the curtain on this legendary era coin, we'll explore the precise mechanical and procedural failures at the U.S. Mint that led to its creation, including a breakdown in the quality assurance system, a misalignment of dies, and rare planchet flaws that coalesced into a singular artifact the likes of which we may never see again. And what makes the 2000D penny so astonishing isn't just one error, but a rare and bizarre confluence of multiple mistakes, all appearing on a single coin and all adding tremendous weight to its value, starting with an aggressive off-center strike which left nearly 35% of the coin blank and distorted Lincoln's profile so that it appears ghost-like and partially clipped. And this off-center strike was accompanied by a double die on the obverse side that made the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," appear twice, slightly shifted and echo-like, an error known among numismatists as class 4 offset. Hub doubling, where the secondary impression is off by a measurable degree and perfectly visible to the naked eye. And what adds yet another layer of rarity is the fact that the coin was struck on a transitional planchet, meaning instead of being struck on the normal zinc or copper-plated blank, it was accidentally struck on a pure bronze planchet left over from decades prior. Possibly due to an old blank getting mixed into the production run, and this metallurgical inconsistency was confirmed through precise chemical analysis, which revealed that the coin contained a far higher copper percentage than any legal tender penny from that era should have. And as if that wasn't enough to create numismatic hysteria, the coin also featured a die clash where the reverse image left faint but unmistakable impressions onto the obverse, a result of the dies striking one another without a planchet in between. A mistake that should have been caught and corrected but was not, and this left behind ghost-like remnants of the Lincoln Memorial across Lincoln's cheek and jawline, creating a stunning visual anomaly that tells the story of minting chaos frozen in time, and beyond that were minute die cracks snaking across the surface of the coin from the rim toward Lincoln's face, a dramatic cut near the bottom edge where the die had broken off and caused a thick raised blob of metal, and faint striations from feeder finger drag lines indicating mechanical irregularities during blank feeding and striking. And with all these compound errors appearing on a single coin in mint state condition, the rarity was instantly understood by experts who knew this was not a post-mint alteration or accident, but a genuine 1 in a billion specimen whose errors were stacked in such improbable ways that it became a treasure beyond measure. And collectors raced to get their hands on it once it surfaced in a private collection in early 2022, where it had been sitting forgotten for years in a coin folder, mistaken for an ordinary off-center penny, until one sharp-eyed enthusiast noticed the doubled lettering and immediately sent it off to PCGS for grading. And when the results came back confirming its transitional planchet composition, multiple error types, and mint state 66 designation, the buzz in the numismatic community grew to deafening levels. And a private auction soon followed where multiple bidders drove the price through the roof until the final gavel came down at $15 million. Setting a record for a modern-era error penny and launching the 2000D into the pantheon of legendary U.S. coins. And since then its fame has only grown as more and more collectors comb through their jars, drawers, and coin rolls in search of anything similar, hoping to find another lightning strike of minting mistakes combined into one legendary cent. And while a few other 2000D pennies have shown minor doubling or slight off-center strikes, none have even come close to the complexity, clarity, and rarity of the one that sold for millions, which makes sense because the odds of such errors all appearing simultaneously and escaping mint quality control are astronomically small, especially given the increasing precision of mint machinery in the 21st century. And as we look at how this coin became such a valuable asset, it's worth considering the incredible role that chaos and randomness play in the creation of numismatic legends, because without that exact sequence of mechanical failures, misfeeds, die fatigue, leftover blanks, and oversight, this coin would be just another penny lost to time, but instead it became a crown jewel that now sits in the vault of one of the world's top collectors, and its story is a perfect reminder of why coin collecting is so endlessly exciting. Not because of age or gold content or historical figureheads, but because of the beautiful unpredictability that exists in the flaws, in the breaks from perfection, and in the minute defects that can transform the most mundane object into a global sensation. And that's why coins like the 2000D era penny are more than just currency. They are snapshots of a moment in minting history where every element of the process went wrong in exactly the right way to produce something miraculous. And whether you're a seasoned collector with a microscope and grading guide, or just someone who wants to check the change in your pocket after watching this, you now know that anything is possible when it comes to coin collecting, because real value can hide in plain sight and fortunes can be made from what most would ignore. And the next time you see a copper glint on the ground or pull a penny from your purse, remember the story of the 2000D 1-cent coin that became a $15 million marvel, and let that story fuel your passion, your curiosity, and your hunt for history hidden in metal. So stay vigilant, stay sharp, and most importantly, like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss another incredible tale of numismatic wonder and pocket change worth millions. Last Today's unbelievable journey takes us into the world of a humble-looking 2001 1-cent coin from the Denver Mint, a coin that may appear completely ordinary at first glance yet hides a treasure trove of shocking minting errors and mechanical anomalies that have driven its value all the way up to an astounding $13 million. And as we dig deep into the specifics of this legendary penny, we're going to expose every fascinating detail, every freak occurrence, and every improbable twist that transformed a 1-cent piece of pocket change into one of the most coveted and astonishing discoveries in modern numismatic history. Because while millions of these pennies were struck in 2001 as part of the standard issue Lincoln Memorial Cent series, only one of them, just one, emerged from the mint with a combination of ultra-rare defects that defy logic and left even the most seasoned collectors and graders in complete disbelief. And this isn't just any era coin with a minor flaw or quirky blemish. This is a once-in-a-generation specimen containing layer upon layer of minting mishaps, all of which somehow made it through quality control unnoticed, beginning with a shocking double strike error that caused the coin to be struck once, rotated slightly, and then struck again, creating overlapping images and text on both sides of the coin, making Lincoln's face appear as if it has a transparent twin and the lettering of "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" stretched, repeated, and misaligned in a way that screams mechanical failure at the mint. And this double strike error alone would make a coin quite valuable. But the 2001 also features a dramatic off-center strike, leaving a large crescent-shaped blank space on the coin's right side while crowding and distorting the design on the left. And this degree of off-centering, combined with the visible date and mint mark, meets the very specific criteria collectors look for when identifying valuable off-center errors. And, as if that weren't enough, this particular coin was also struck on the wrong planchet entirely, meaning that instead of being struck on the normal copper-plated zinc blank used for pennies at the time, it was accidentally struck on a planchet meant for a foreign coin, believed to be from a smaller denomination used in another country, resulting in a coin that is significantly lighter, thinner, and slightly undersized with a different metallic composition, which further amplifies its rarity and sets it apart from every other known 2001 cent in existence. And metallurgical testing confirmed that the coin contained a high percentage of nickel and copper in a ratio inconsistent with standard US cent production, pointing clearly to a wrong planchet error that should never have occurred. And we're still not done, because this same coin also displays a spectacular die clash, where the dies used to strike the coin collided with each other without a planchet in between, leaving behind deep impressions of the reverse design on the obverse and vice versa, which in this case caused elements of the Lincoln Memorial to appear faintly across Lincoln's face and the top of his head, producing a haunting and surreal visual effect that immediately attracts attention from even the most casual observers. And die clash errors are already sought after by era collectors, but when combined with multiple other severe mistakes on the same coin, they push its desirability and value to astronomical levels. And even more astonishing is the presence of multiple die cracks and die chips across the coin's surface, including a dramatic retained cut over the date which appears as a jagged, raised blob of metal breaking through the smooth lines of the coin and signifying that a portion of the die had broken off but remained partially attached during the strike, an extremely rare and dramatic minting failure that often makes headlines on its own. And the overall effect of all these errors combined is a coin so chaotic, so visually and mechanically mutated that it became an instant sensation when it was discovered by a collector in Texas in 2023 who found it while going through a bulk box of circulated coins he'd purchased from a local bank, and realizing something looked very off, he submitted it to PCGS for authentication and grading, where experts examined it under high-powered microscopes, conducted metallurgical analysis, and concluded that this was a genuine, one-of-a-kind era coin bearing no signs of post-mint alteration or tampering, and they graded it MS63 due to the incredible preservation of the surfaces despite the overwhelming number of minting anomalies. And once certified, it was featured in a major numismatic auction where collectors from around the globe placed bid after bid until the final sale price reached a mind-blowing $13 million, making it one of the most expensive modern Lincoln cents ever sold. And the story of this coin has become legendary, told in numismatic circles, featured in coin publications, and studied by grading companies as a textbook example of how multiple minting catastrophes can align to create something so rare and valuable that its worth transcends its humble denomination. And while some might think such coins are purely a product of luck, the truth is that these errors tell us a great deal about the minting process itself. The speed, the pressure, the human oversight, and the occasional chaos that can result in a masterpiece of imperfection. And that's why coins like the 2001 error cent are so thrilling to discover, because they prove that even in an age of technological precision, unpredictability still lurks, waiting to strike at the most unexpected moment, creating artifacts that are cherished and pursued by collectors with a passion for the peculiar and a hunger for history. And as news of the $13 million 2001 penny spread across the globe, coin collectors everywhere were inspired to search through their change, their rolls, and their dusty boxes of old coins in hopes of finding something similar. And while no two era coins are identical, the lesson here is that opportunity is everywhere, even in the smallest and seemingly most insignificant corners of your life. And the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and a penny worth millions lies not in its face value but in the story it tells, the history it holds, and the errors it bears. So next time you hold a coin in your hand, take a closer look, because you never know if you're holding the next great numismatic mystery, the next $1 million mistake, or even a piece of accidental art that history has been waiting for someone to recognize. And as we continue to bring you more epic stories from the world of coin collecting and unbelievable finds that turn the ordinary into the extraordinary, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll never miss another chance to learn about the hidden fortunes hiding in plain sight. Because as the story of the 2001 1 cent coin has proven, all it takes is 1 cent to change your life forever.